What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com and welcome to our Kentucky Derby recap. Well, the 2025 Kentucky Derby did not disappoint. It was an incredible race, one of the best ones that I can remember. I had a lot of fun watching this one. Hated that it rained, but hey, it is what it is. At least kind of the horses we thought were pretty good did show up and run really, really well. All right, I'm going to put the chart up on the screen now. And listen, this is one of those things we do every year where we'll kind of recap everything. And boy, just cannot brag enough on the winner of this one. So let's get going here and let's talk about all the trips and everything that happened and all the thoughts and everything like that. So the winner, number 18, Sovereignty, gets the job done, and he kind of did what we thought he was going to do as far as where he was going to sit early. 16th, you thought he'd be in that back group between 15 and 19. He sat 16th and, had a little bit of bumping early on, but that's just something that's going to happen in the Derby when you're kind of behind and really when you're breaking with 19 horses, there's going to be some bumping, but a pretty good trip overall. And look, I just couldn't be more impressed with what Sovereignty did here. And I think it was a master class in three different ways that I'll go over now. I just can't say enough about the three different things that I thought happened. Number one, Junior Alvarado, just tremendous, a tremendous ride. It could not have been any better. Picture freaking perfect ride. He moved this horse a little bit earlier than what he normally does. And I'm talking for Sovereignty, not maybe every horse, but Sovereignty, he doesn't usually move quite as early as he did, but it was the winning move. He was able to get the jump on a few horses. He kind of, and I don't think he really meant to do this, but by moving early and moving outside of a big group of horses, he kind of pinned Baza in for a second. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But he just got the jump on everybody, and he was within range of journalism. If they turn for home and maybe he's 5 lengths behind him, I don't know, maybe he gets him, maybe he doesn't, but it makes his job that much harder. But he was right there kind of with him, just a couple lengths behind him when the real running began. And that was just a brilliant, brilliant ride by Junior Alvarado. Deserves a ton of credit. Masterclass number 2, Bill Mott. He freaking did it again. I mean, this guy's unbelievable, getting a horse to pop at the big moments. And look, Beyer speed figures are not the end-all be-all by any metric, and they're not, some unbelievable number or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but he got a 104 Beyer for the Kentucky Derby. That is so much better than anything he's ever gotten in his career. Bill Mott did it again. He got him to fire his biggest race on the biggest day, and it was a masterclass training job once again by one of the all-time great trainers. So just an incredible job by the human connections. Junior Alvarado with a great ride, Mott with a great job training. The third factor, the horse. Give this horse a ton of credit. When you move a horse early like that, and again, it was the right move. I think in the Derby you have to do it. You got to make that move, and then you got to have enough left to finish it. And he did it, and it was not easy. He got up next to journalism. Journalism fought him for a while. It was not easy to put journalism away. Journalism fired his race, and Sovereignty was better. And that is so impressive that horse was able to finish that race off like that. So freaking impressive. So, again, masterclass, three different guys here, Junior Alvarado, Bill Mott, and Sovereignty. Give him an A+. Unbelievable effort there. So before I go on to journalism, final thing from a handicapping standpoint in this game, whether you're a handicapper, a jockey, a trainer, whatever, you are always learning. You're always trying to get better. You're always learning from mistakes or just learning from people that have more experience from you or whatever. And that's kind of the thing I love. And so I can tell you 1 year ago, the old me, after Sovereignty pissed me off so much in the Florida Derby, I would have said, that's it. I'm not going to play him in the Kentucky Derby. I just don't think he's very good. But as the weeks went on, I got over it a little bit, number one. And number two, you just got to thinking, you love this horse forever. You like Junior Alvarado. You have so much respect for Bill Mott. Don't let him beat you. Don't let him beat you. That's what I kept telling myself, even though I still was a little down on him. So I didn't pick him to win the race, but I had him in all kinds of stuff, pick 4s, pick 5s, exactas, doubles, all that kind of stuff. And so I was able to have a decent Derby because I learned from past mistakes, right? And that is something that always try to be learning in this game, no matter what area you're in. So Sovereignty, give him a ton of credit. He's probably my favorite Kentucky Derby winner that I did not pick to win the race because I just love Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado so much. And I just thought he just ran incredible. So I'm just gushing over him, and I didn't even pick him to win, but can't say enough about him. All right, let's go to the horse I did pick to win, though, and that was the number 8 Journalism. absolutely no excuse from journalism and absolutely no disappointment from my standpoint with journalism. I thought he ran his race. He was fantastic. I thought Umberto Rispoli did a great job. The horse, yeah, he had a little trouble early, but you're going to have a little trouble early in the Derby. You got knocked around a little bit. No big deal. But by the time they got to the backside, I thought Rispoli had him in a great spot. I thought he moved at the absolute right time. He picked off horses like they were standing still, turned for home, looked like he was going to win that thing, and then Sovereignty just got him. He just wasn't quite good enough to get the job done. But, he fought him. He didn't – I'd probably be singing a different tune if Sovereignty just went right by him. But journalism tried to stick with him. He kept going, and he just wasn't good enough to do it. He was second best this day without a doubt. But, look, he runs a 102 buyer speed figure. That's what he had in the San Diego Derby. And if he would have told me he was going to run that in the Kentucky Derby, I would say he was winning the race. So I thought he ran great. Give journalism a lot of credit as well. And you have to give a ton of credit to Baza. My goodness, I thought he ran fantastic from this outside post. I think he would have rather been kind of where journalism was and not where Sovereignty was. But because of the post and, he had a little bit of trouble like a lot of these horses, he kind of was a little bit further back than what you wanted to be. But Flavien did a good job to try to keep him as tight to the rail as possible that you could from that post position, right? And you go back and you watch the overhead view of it. I wish I could show it, but illegal for us to show it. But you go back and watch the overhead view of it, guys. He's getting ready to make that move, and Sovereignty kind of goes up to his outside, and he can't quite make that move just yet. And bottling him up there a couple seconds probably made the difference, definitely for second. I don't know if he would have beat Sovereignty, but for second, for sure, I think he would have gotten past journalism. But once he got out, he was flying, and just a great race. This is a serious horse. I thought he was really good in the San Diego Derby. I thought he was even better here. And like I said, no, it's nobody's fault. He's getting ready to make the move, and a horse just kind of came up to his outside, and that's in a normal horse race, that's probably not going to happen. So I think Baza, just incredible. Good effort for him. I think these top three are just better than everybody else. I thought they ran very, very well. Then the number the fourth place horse is one you got to brag a ton about as well. Final Gambit. He was so far out of it. You couldn't even find him. He was so far out of it. He came flying. He picked them all off but three. Great effort for Final Gambit. A lot of respect for him. Good start. First start on the turf, man. First start on the dirt. Just raced very well. Such a rough start to this race to get that far behind. Give him a ton of credit. He was great. And then the horse that was super great as well is Owen Almighty. He finished fifth in the race, and he's the only pace horse that stuck around. I haven't even mentioned it yet. The pace did materialize. It was hot. 46.23 to the half. That's pretty racehorse time there. So that is why these closers were able to do well. It's set up very well for them. But Owen Almighty, my goodness, just a huge effort in this race to stick around. He pressed that pace the whole way and stick around for fifth. I don't know how it happened or where that came from, but you got to know his connections are proud of him. This is a horse I don't think anybody thought could stick around for fifth place. And he's able to do it. He was the toughest of the speed horses. That's pretty incredible. The sixth place finisher was Burnham Square. We'll go through these a little bit quicker here, but we'll point out some trouble. And Burnham Square, he did have to check, and it really cost him positioning. He was in a pretty good spot. He had to check pretty hard. He lost momentum. He did re-rally and run pretty well. I would not draw a line through Burnham Square going forward. I think he's pretty decent. I thought he ran a pretty darn good race. Again, he had to check, and that was a big-time problem for him. But he'll be back. Yeah, he wasn't bad at all, no doubt about it. The seventh place finisher was Sandman. This is a horse that got way, way far behind like we thought, and he tried to make up a move, and he just kind of didn't have that punch. Like a lot of the closers, he got bottled up a little bit, and not the cleanest run in the world, absolutely for sure. Got bumped and checked, like I said, like a lot of closers do. But just ran okay, just couldn't quite make up the ground. Seventh place effort, and he'll be back. I mean, he did not embarrass himself whatsoever. He ran fine. The eighth place finisher, East Avenue, looked kind of just chased the pace and went backwards a little bit. I kind of what you kind of thought he might do. I thought he might be a little bit more forward. I thought he might be able to get into first or second. He was fifth and sixth, but just kind of chased and just dropped back. Not a whole lot to say about him. Ninth place finisher, Chunk of Gold, kind of did chunk of gold things. I will say, though, he was a little bit more forwardly placed than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be way towards the back. He was sitting in 8th. Maybe he was a little bit too close to the pace, you know. He did kind of go backwards in the stretch. That's not something you usually see from him. You know, so maybe he just was a little too keen in this spot. I wouldn't really give up on him either. I think he's a good board hitter in races going forward. The 10th place finisher, Tistastic, he did have some trouble. Rosario kind of kept him inside the whole time, got into traffic, had to steady a bit. Finally, when he kind of got out, he made up a little bit of ground, but it wasn't great. You know, a troubled trip. And again, that's what happens with closers a lot in the Derby. They get those troubled trips. Cole Battle, he sat in that kind of stalking position there. He was in 11th, and then he was in 9th. He was kind of right there with journalism. If you're watching journalism, you saw Cole Battle a little bit. Just didn't have a whole lot left. He made kind of a middle move and then faded back. That's kind of what he did in the Arkansas Derby. And, you know, I think back to our pedigree expert, Ryan, that we had on earlier in the year, and he was really worried about going further than a mile and a 16th with Cole Battle. That's 2 straight races where he kind of made the move that he makes in a mile and 16th races, and then he kind of went backwards a little bit after that. So maybe they'll shorten him up a bit, but give him credit. I mean, this is a respectable horse. He had no business based on pedigrees and things like that ever being here. And he goes 11th in the Derby. 12th was Luxor Cafe. Same kind of thing. Same kind of shit with these Japanese horses. They just don't, they blow the brake every time. And it Forever Young would have won the Derby last year, but he blew the brake. You know, Luxor Cafe hops at the air, you know, doesn't get kind of the positioning that he wants. I thought he ran well at, he made kind of like Cole Battle. He made a middle move and then he faded back. Neoquist finishes 13th in this race, pressed the pace, faded. It's about all you could say. Kind of predictable that that's what he was going to do, and he did. The 14th place horse is Publisher. Just dropped back, tried to make one run, had some trouble, had to steady a little bit, but just didn't have it really. You know, not a whole lot you could say for him. 15th place finisher was Citizen Bull. He did get the lead. You know, he broke out. He tried to get, straight to the right, trying to get that position, trying to, get away from the rail, and just too fast, went too fast like all the speed horses did, and couldn't make up any ground. American Promise 16th, he just chased the whole way and then faded badly once the real running began there. Render Judgment, it gets 17th in this spot. He kind of sat at the front of the closers and just was empty, had nothing left. He was outclassed. We kind of knew he was, and then that was that. Flying Mohawk, he was sitting kind of close to journalism and Cole Battle. He kind of had some trouble early. He was bumping in and out like a lot of these horses. That first run, a lot of them were bumping with each other, but he was empty, just had nothing whatsoever there. And then Admire Daytona, they tried to kind of send him a little bit, and just nothing left. Another one that just the speed duel kind of got him. And like I said, 22.81 and 46.23. 110.78 for the 6 furlong mark in the slop there. It was just too fast. It was too fast, and there was too many of them. They were all pressing each other. So anyway, he fades to 19th. All right, final thought here as we go on. All the credit in the world to the top 3 finishers, especially Sovereignty, who was fan-freaking-tastic, but I thought Journalism and Baza were very good as well. Loved this Derby. Absolutely loved it. I just love when you get those 2 horses and it's 2 that you thought might be there. And here's kind of how you had it playing out in your head a little bit. And let's see what happens. It was fun. Wish it was over a dry track. That's my only complaint, but I've learned you can't complain about the weather because there's nothing you can do about that. All right, that'll do it for our recap of the Kentucky Derby. Guys, hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. Most importantly, stay tuned to the channel. We'll have a lot more coverage of the Triple Crown in the weeks to come.